Vehicle and asset finance from ABSA. Going the extra mile. Finance from ABSA. Going off the beaten track to find solutions.
And off the beaten track is about right, but someone who never loses his way is former national champion Ralph Pitchford, and he was second on the podium in Argentina, a Nissan stalwart.
He's been part of the ABSA Off-Road Championship in South Africa. With the navigation side, we get given a road book, the GPS and the route is marked, which makes it a lot easier for the drivers and the co-drivers here in South Africa. Although it's a very tough championship, yeah, you know, the terrain, and that's like extremely hard, and that's a good test for man and machine. With the overseas racing, your navigation aids are very limited. You have a road book and you have very basic GPS. And from there, you have to steer your driver in the right direction and make sure you find the way.
Obviously, in the local series, you don't race on these massive dunes. Is that something difficult to get used to?
Yes, racing over dunes is extremely difficult. It's very nerve-wracking right in the beginning, the first time you crest some of those dunes, because you never know what's on the other side. And it takes a bit of time for the car to go over the dune before you realize what's on the other side. So, you know, we managed to do a lot of testing in Morocco and Tunisia, and we spend a lot of time in the dunes, so it definitely does help us.
Ralph, please explain to us how you perceive the difference between the car that you would be in here in South Africa and then the car that you navigated in Argentina.
The two cars are definitely similar. There's just a big difference in the price tag.
Yep.
The Touareg is definitely more refined. The suspension is a little bit better. It handles a lot better in the tight stuff. But all around, both cars are very good.
Top speeds, tell us about that.
Yeah, we restricted on the cars. We run an air intake restrictor to slow the cars down, but the top speed's around 185 kilometers an hour, but we get there quite quickly.
For Nissan team manager Glenn Hall, the Dakar was a triumph.
Well, the Dakar was just a fantastic event, first of all, and secondly for South Africa. I think it was great with Janelle and our own Ralph Pitchford first and second in the race. It was just a fantastic result. And then Ivar coming in fourth overall, and our second car with Christoph Holovic fifth. It was like a dream come true. It felt like we were first, second, fourth and fifth in the world's toughest race. It was great.
And great is a word you can apply to the ABSA off-road season ahead as well.
We're going forward. ABSA's back with us. They've increased their contribution. They're really going to help make our off-road racing an even bigger spectacle. It's great also to have the manufacturers in that particular order, but Ford, Nissan and Toyota back on board with increased participation in the coming events. And then we also have some great new sponsors at event level. The event this year starts with the Adenco 400 in Darling in the Western Cape, and it's a new sponsor, it's a competitor, it's great to have them with us. Where are we going? We're really trying to bring our events a bit more in line with the Dakar. We're going to use the same route schedule as is used in the Dakar, the same marking. And I think that with respect to what's happened in the past, we're also introducing a higher level of professionalism into our sport. We will have a series director who will be going to every event. We have signed a contract with one medical company to look after, if necessary, medical problems on an event. We'll also have a chopper on standby. And then I think probably most importantly, we're going to make the events tougher. Our events that started going too fast, the cars were going too quickly, and we're bringing more skill into it. Not necessarily by making them rougher, but by making them tighter also. So we should bring down the average speed, but the spectacle will be there for the coming year.
The growth in the series has been phenomenal, upwards in the SP and special classes.
Well, we're very fortunate in our environment. The SP class in particular has grown, and I think we'll probably see an entry going from 15 to 20 this year. We do have some people moving from specials to the SP class, but also the growth in the specials is promising. Local manufacturers building cars locally, some of American design, but there's a nice industry out there building cars for off-road racing. I think the success of vehicles built in this country on the Dakar just lends a lot of credence to our industry here and to our events, and that people can really build and test cars in the ABSA Off-Road Series.
The pipe opener, the new Adenco 400 in Darling in the Western Cape, will be very different. What does the Commission have in mind for the competitors?
The Adenco 400, I think we're going to surprise quite a few people. We've made the event a lot more interesting. It's going to be a change from what we've traditionally expected in the Cape. Also, I think that the Commission is striving to make it more than just a day at off-road racing. We were introducing other shows at the same event, and we're going to have some street rods there. I think we're going to have the Lumina Club there too. So we're wanting to attract more spectators to our events by not only showing them off-road cars, but also showing them other interests in our motorsport.
ABSA Vehicle and Asset Finance have been the sponsor of the series for the past 8 years and have seen the fruits of their labour.
ABSA Bank, and with special reference to Vehicle and Asset Finance, has definitely over the last 8 years benefited from our investment as serious sponsor. And the benefits really is mainly, first, it did cement our relationship with the manufacturers. And if I can mention 3 names, really, Ford, Nissan and Toyota, being associated with this championship, there were definite benefits in enhancing our relationships with these dominant manufacturers in South Africa. Secondly, as I said previously, South Africa is a car-crazy country, and being associated with this championship, it gives ABSA that top-of-mind approach when customers do think about this championship and when customers do think of acquiring any new vehicle in future. As ABSA Bank, we are quite excited about the future growth opportunities for this championship. And I must say, we also, after dealing with the association themselves, also supporting and, as I said, excited about future development plans with special reference to new entries into these races. But I must say, if you look at the future growth, we would, as a sponsor, like to see maybe some more and new manufacturers participating in this event. There's definitely development opportunities of let's call it a new category of riders and drivers that can enter this type of event. But the future growth, if you look at just at the first event that will take place in the Cape region soon, the entries, over 60 entries. So in these wild times, you would expect entries to start declining. We actually see the opposite, and that's quite healthy and a brilliant sign for the future of this championship.
Vehicle and Asset Finance.